Season 3 rolls on with the 6 of 8 preliminary rounds. Who'll move on? Will it be the Vikings of Oxford Hills Comprehensive High School? Or the Wildcats of York High School? We'll find out next on High School Quiz Show Maine.
Production support for High School Quiz Show Maine is provided by the Helen and George Ladd Charitable Corporation, the Lincoln and Therese Filene Foundation, Platts Associates, Bernstein Schur, and by
Take a moment and change your life. Join a Maine credit union. At a credit union, you're an owner, and a credit union gives back to its owners. Contact your local Maine credit union. It's your moment. Own it.
Energy is about more than just keeping the lights on. It's about living life. As parents, friends, and teammates, Unitil is proud to support High School Quiz Show Maine. Unitil, more than a utility, part of your community. With Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare, you get more than a health plan. You get a partner. With benefits built around local needs, they're helping communities across Maine get healthier and happier. Visit harvardpilgrim.org to learn more. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Welcome to High School Quiz Show Maine. I'm Shannon Moss. A new challenger takes on a Season 1 veteran this week, but only one can move on to the championship with the $1,000 prize for their school's project graduation and head to Boston to compete in the High School Quiz Show Invitational against other state quiz show champions. Today's matchup features our Season 1 veteran, Oxford Hills Comprehensive High School from South Paris. They are taking on newcomers to the quiz show from York High School. So let's get started by meeting our players. For York, we have Sophia, Joey, Audrey, Andy, with alternate Marie, and they are coached by Bill Walsh and Katie Lutz. And for Oxford Hills, we have Hallie, Sam, Lexi, Will, with alternates Marla and Cecilia, and they are coached by Jeff Norton. And we also have our two judges here to help us out today, Angela Absher and Stephen Ferrand. Always good to see you both. This competition has 4 rounds. We have the toss-up, the head-to-head, the category round, and a lightning round. And we're going to start with the toss-up round. All answers are worth 10 points. This is the only round where there'll be no point deductions for wrong answers. Players, you must wait for me to complete the question. And if one team answers incorrectly, the other team will get a chance to answer. So players, are you ready? Let's get started. Have some fun. Toronto is the capital city of what Canadian province? Lexi. Lexi?
Ontario.
That's the right answer. Name the invisible force that pulls every object towards the center of the earth. Will.
Gravity.
Gravity's the answer. From the Hebrew for proper or fit, what 6-letter word refers to food prepared according to Jewish dietary laws? Sam.
Kosher.
Kosher's the answer. Which founding father is known for his large signature on the United States Declaration of Independence? Sophia.
John Hancock.
That's the answer. Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator is the sequel to what 1964 children's book? Will.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
That is correct. In 1845, newspaper editor John O'Sullivan coined what 2-word phrase that was used to support westward expansion of the United States? Sam.
Manifest Destiny.
That's the right answer. What 2002 film featuring the song And All That Jazz was the first musical since the 1968 film Oliver to win an Oscar for Best Picture?
Chicago.
Lexi.
Chicago.
That's the answer. What American astronaut became the second person to walk on the moon, touching the surface just minutes after Neil Armstrong? Andy.
Buzz Aldrin.
You got it. All right, this is a video question if you want to take a look at your monitor right now.
I'm Robin Rylett. I'm the classical music host and the music director for Maine Public Classical, and I have a question for you. There are a series of 6 concerti that were written by an 18th century composer. These concerti are considered to be some of the finest examples of Baroque music ever written. Who wrote these concerti?
Sam.
Bach.
You got it. All right, and a story from Greek myth. Daphne was turned into what shrub that's associated with triumph? The answer is laurel. What tiny landlocked country borders France, Belgium, and Germany? Audrey.
Luxembourg.
That's the answer. What common piece of laboratory equipment that produces a single open gas flame is named after the German chemist who introduced it in 1855? Sophia.
Bunsen burner.
That's correct. Also known as lines of longitude, what imaginary lines run from pole to pole and are named after the Latin word for midday? Andy.
Meridians.
That's the correct answer. We got a math question for you right now. What is the sum of the exterior angles of any polygon, assuming one exterior angle per vertex? Sam.
360.
You got it. Which of the following planets has the smallest diameter? Is it Venus, Earth, or Mars? Sophia.
Venus.
That is incorrect. Oxford Hills. Will.
Earth.
Mars is the answer. When George Washington crossed the Delaware River on Christmas night in 1776, it was his first move in a surprise attack against Hessian mercenaries in what New Jersey city? Andy.
Trenton.
Trenton's the answer. What edible wax is the chief component of Crayola crayons and is widely used on fruits, vegetables, and candy to make them shiny and help prevent spoilage? Hallie.
Paraffin.
That's the right answer. Catalonia and the Basque Country are autonomous communities in the northeastern region of what country? Andy.
Spain.
Spain's the answer. Okay, we've got a picture question next if you want to look at your monitor. Name this American abolitionist and author who is most famous for her novel Uncle Tom's Cabin in 1852, which depicted the harsh conditions for enslaved African Americans in the United States before the Civil War. Andy.
Harriet Beecher Stowe.
That's the answer. Before they have a chance to reach the Earth, most meteors burn up in what layer that is located directly above the stratosphere? Will.
The atmosphere.
That is incorrect. York? Want to take a shot at it? Joey.
Asthenosphere.
It's the mesosphere is the answer. With a population of more than 23 million, what city located on the mouth of the Yangtze River is the largest city in China? Joey.
Beijing.
That is incorrect. Oxford Hills, that's Lexi.
Shanghai.
Shanghai is correct. The powerful anti-war novel All Quiet on the Western Front is set during what war? Will.
World War I.
That's the answer. What is the only U.S. constitutional amendment to have been repealed? Andy.
The 18th Amendment.
18th Amendment prohibition. Yes, you are right. What fictional island in the Aegean Sea is the birthplace of Diana Prince, better known as Wonder Woman? Paradise Island is the answer. All right, we got another math question for you. What is the sine of 90 degrees? Will.
1.
1's the answer. What bone in the human body is commonly referred to as the tailbone? Sophia.
The coccyx.
Now you got it. What man-made structure that was completed in 1869 greatly reduced the sailing time between England and India? Will.
Suez Canal.
That's the right answer. Referring to a person born between 1981 and 1996, spell millennial. Will.
Millenial.
That is incorrect. York, you want to give it a shot? Audrey.
Millenial.
That is right. The Walt Disney Concert Hall in LA and the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao, Spain were designed by what renowned architect? Will.
Frank Lloyd Wright.
That is incorrect. York, do you want to give it a shot? Frank Gehry is the answer to that question. In physics, a decrease in wavelength is called a blue shift. The opposite effect, an increase in wavelength, is called a what? Audrey.
Redshift.
Redshift is the answer. I shall go to Korea. What U.S. presidential candidate said this in 1952 as part of his campaign to help end the war in Korea? Lexi.
President Eisenhower.
That's correct. That is the buzzer. So that signals the end of round one. Let's take a look at our scores. We got a game. York with 120, Oxford Hills with 140. Great job, everyone. Looking forward to meeting our players. That's coming up next. Also, we'll be going head to head when we come back. Stay with us.
Trees are down. The power is down. But you're not powerless. The mobile app from Safety Insurance can help you file a claim. You can ask an independent agent about safety insurance. We'll help you manage life's storms.
We are going head to head next. Everyone's done really well with our general knowledge questions, but I've got a fun question for everyone. So we're going to ask every player this. We're going to start with Sophia. If you were given the choice of writing for Vanity Fair, The New York Times, or Sports Illustrated, which would you choose and why?
Probably the New York Times, because my grandpa gets that, so he could see what I wrote.
And he would love that. Very proud indeed. Joey?
I'd probably choose the New York Times as well. I'm more of a politics and news person rather than a fashion or sports.
So that would be the choice then. How about you, Audrey?
I would choose the New York Times as well, because that's the one my family gets. I like them to see me.
All right, excellent. And Andy?
I'd probably pick Sports Illustrated just because I like watching sports.
So it's a perfect fit there. All right, what about you, Hallie?
The New York Times, because it's by far the classiest.
There you go. Sam?
I would choose Sports Illustrated because I really like sports and I think there's some interesting stories in there.
Perfect. And Lexi?
I would choose the New York Times because I think with all the amount of facts that are some inaccurate and some accurate, I would want to make sure I was reporting the accurate facts.
Oh, good journalist right there. I love it. All right, Will?
I would choose Sports Illustrated because I've been getting it since I was 9 years old, and it'd be pretty cool to write for that.
That would be awesome. Your name on the byline? Fantastic. All right, great to get to know you guys a little bit more. And we're going to be going head to head in just a few minutes. But first, you want to check out Maine's Credit Union's Question of the Week.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Lancaster, and this is Maine's Credit Union's Question of the Week. In terms of population, what is the smallest county in Maine? Is it Piscataquis County, Washington County, or Franklin County? We'll have the answer later in the show.
We are about to go head to head. I've got Oxford Hills on my left. I've got York on my right. Why don't you guys shake hands before we get started? Okay, now in this round, you get 10 points for correct answers. Incorrect answers will cost you 10. Remember, you don't have to wait for me to complete the question. You can buzz in at any time. So let's set that clock at 90 seconds and let's go. Canberra is the capital city of what country? Yes, Oxford Hills.
Australia.
That's right. In The Hobbit, Bilbo Baggins and a group of dwarves are aided by what powerful wizard? Oxford Hills.
Gandalf.
That's the right answer. What is the second largest planet in the solar system of the 8 known planets? Saturn. 4 of the first 5 presidents were from what U.S. state? Yes, York.
Virginia.
Virginia is the answer. Leukocyte is what color blood cell? York.
Blue.
It is white. What is the Latin name for the Great Bear constellation? Yes, York.
Ursa Major.
That's the answer. In the Washington Irving story, Rip Van Winkle, he fell asleep in the woods of what New York mountains? Yes, Oxford Hills.
Catskill.
Catskill's the answer. What Greek goddess of marriage was the wife and sister of Zeus? Yes, York.
Hera.
That's the answer. What Middle Eastern country is the setting of the 2003 bestseller, The Kite Runner? Afghanistan. What Soviet leader was called the Man of Steel? Yeah, Oxford
Stalin.
Hills. Stalin is the answer. Meaning uncut, what did ancient Greeks believe was the smallest particle of matter? The atom. The Mariana Trench, the deepest point in the world's oceans, is located in which ocean? Yes, York.
Pacific.
That's the right answer. With 28 medals, who is the most decorated Olympic athlete of all time? York.
Michael Phillips.
That's correct. The classic children's novel Heidi is set in what country?
Switzerland.
Oxford Hills. Yes. Many magnificent buildings, including the Parthenon, were built under the Athenian. That's the buzzer. Ooh, couldn't even get the question out there. All right, York, 160 points. Oxford Hills, 190 points. We've got a really close game. This is exciting. Category round is coming up next. Stay with us, everyone. Next up is the category round with the following choices. Frozen, Give Chickpeas a Chance, A Bug's Life, Inventions, French Connection, and What About Bob? Now, each category has 5 questions with increasing point values. Now, players, you can confer with your teammates, but once you buzz in, you can no longer confer, and I am going to need to know your answer at that point. And like in the toss-up round, if one team answers incorrectly, the other team will be given a chance to answer. Okay, so York, you're behind by a little bit, so you get to choose first. What category interests you?
We'll take inventions.
All right, inventions. These are questions about inventions. This is for 10 points. Many practical inventions, including bifocals, were created by what founding father? Andy.
Benjamin Franklin.
That's correct. What would you like next?
Let's do that one for 15.
All right, inventions for 15. The life of an inventor has its ups and downs. In 1853, Elisha Otis invented a modern version of what? Elevator. All right, York, you still have control of the board.
Inventions for
Okay,
20.
we're gonna keep it going here. Inventions for 20. In 1968, Alan Breed invented the sensor and safety system for what device mandatory on all cars made in the U.S. since 1998? Joey.
Seatbelt.
That is incorrect. Oxford Hills. Sam.
Airbag.
Airbag is the answer. Oxford Hills, you have control of the board now. What would you like? What category?
Inventions for 25, please.
All right, we're going to keep with inventions. This is for 25 points. In the 18th century, what Scottish engineer invented a modern version of the steam engine? James West is the answer. And Oxford Hills, you still have control of the board.
Stay with it.
All right. This will wrap up this category. Inventions for 30 points. What Scottish author of Ivanhoe and Rob Roy is considered the inventor of the historical novel? Lexi.
Sir Walter Raleigh.
That is incorrect. York? Sir Walter Scott is the answer. Oxford Hills, you still have control of the board.
Let's go with what about Bob for 10.
What about Bob? All right, these are questions about people named Bob. This is for 10 points. Known for his gravelly voice and poetic lyrics, what singer-songwriter won the 2016 Nobel Prize for Literature? Sam.
Bob Dylan.
That's correct. What would you like next?
Frozen for 10.
Frozen for 10. These are questions about Antarctica. Which of these animals, seals, penguins, or polar bears, does not live in Antarctica? Lexi.
Polar bears.
That's correct. What would you like next?
Let's stick with it.
We're going to stick with Frozen. This is for 15 points. What penguin is the only bird that remains on Antarctica through the winter, raising its young in the harshest conditions on Earth? Will.
The emperor penguin?
That is the right answer. What do you think?
Let's go what about Bob for 15.
What about Bob for 15 points? What U.S. senator and World War II veteran ran against Bill Clinton in 1996 as the GOP presidential nominee? Lexi.
George H.W. Bush.
That is incorrect. York. Andy.
Bob Dole.
That is correct. And York, you have control of the board. What do you think?
What about Bob for 20?
What about Bob for 20 points? Along with Carl Bernstein, who earned a Pulitzer Prize for the Washington Post in 1973 for his investigative reporting on the Watergate scandal? Bob Woodward is the answer. York, you still have control of the board.
What about Bob for 25?
All right, what about Bob for 25 points? In 1960, who released a live album subtitled The Most Celebrated New Comedian Since Attila the Hun, which became the first comedy record to top the Billboard charts? Bob Newhart is the answer. Okay, York?
French Connection for 10.
All right, going to a new category here. Questions about French loan words. This is 10 points. What term for a dead-end street means bottom of the bag in French? Sophia.
Cul-de-sac.
That's correct. What would you like next?
Let's stay with French Connection.
All right, we're going to stick with this category, French Connection for 15 points. Meaning, let people do as they choose. What economic doctrine allows businesses to operate with very little interference from the government? Joey.
Laissez-faire.
That's correct. What do you think? Where do you want to go?
French Connection for 20.
All right, for 20 points, French Connection. What two-word phrase that means false step refers to a social blunder or indiscretion? Will.
Faux pas?
That's correct. Oxford Hills. Where do you want to go?
Frozen 20.
Frozen for 20 points. Named for the British polar explorer who discovered it in 1841, what enormous ice shelf is about the size of France? The Ross Ice Shelf is the answer. Oxford Hills, you still have control of the board.
Frozen for 25, please.
All right, Frozen for 25 points. After others beat him to the North Pole in 1909, what Norwegian explorer decided to be the first to reach the South Pole instead? Roald Amundsen is the answer. Okay, Oxford Hills.
What about Bob? 30, please.
What about Bob? For 30, this wraps up this category. Who won an unprecedented 8 Tony Awards for choreography and won an Academy Award for his direction of the 1972 film Cabaret? Lexi.
Bob Fosse.
That's correct. What would you like next?
A Bug's Life for 10, please.
A Bug's Life. Okay, these are questions about insects, and this is for 10 points. Almost all of the honeybees in a hive are female. Male honeybees, whose one main purpose is to mate with the queen, are called what? Hallie.
Drones.
That's correct. What would you like next?
Stick with it.
We're going to stick with bugs. A Bug's Life for 15 points. Name the branch of zoology that deals with the study of insects. Hallie.
Entomology.
That's correct. We staying with the same category? I thought so. That look on your face told me. All right, A Bug's Life for 20 points. Insects that undergo incomplete metamorphosis go through how many developmental stages? Lexi.
4.
That is incorrect. York, want to give it a shot? Joey.
3.
That's correct. York, where would you like to go?
We'll take Frozen for 30.
All right, Frozen for 30. This wraps up this category. What Antarctic volcano has been continuously active since 1972, spitting out as many as 50 lava bombs a day? It's Mount Erebus is the answer. York, you're still in control of the board.
We'll take a French Connection for 25.
All right, French Connection for 25 points. Meaning film truthfulness, what 2-word phrase describes the documentary filmmaking technique of using shaky handheld cameras? It's cinema verite is the answer. York, what's next?
We'll take a French Connection for 30.
All right, we're going to wrap up this category. French Connection for 30 points. Meaning stroke of mercy, what 3-word term refers to a decisive finishing blow to end someone's suffering? Sam.
Coup de grace.
That's correct. All right, Oxford Hills, where we go. That's the buzzer. So that ends our category round. Let's take a look at our score. York with 210 points. Oxford Hills with 285 points. We've got the lightning round coming up next where anything can happen, and that is right after the answer to Maine's Credit Union's Question of the Week.
Let's see how you did with Maine's Credit Union's Question of the Week. In terms of population, what is the smallest county in Maine? Is it Piscataquis County, Washington County, or Franklin County? The answer is Piscataquis County. While it is Maine's second largest county by area, it has the smallest population of all the counties, with under 18,000 people counted in the 2012 census.
Okay, this is the final 90 seconds of gameplay. This is the lightning round. It is still anybody's game, so players, remember, you get 20 points for correct answers. Incorrect answers, though, will cost you 20 points. So let's set that clock and let's go. Diamonds and other gemstones are measured in what unit of weight? Yes, Audrey.
Carrots.
That's correct. What 13-letter word refers to an abnormal or irrational fear of spiders? Sophia.
Arachnophobia.
Correct. What European country with a long history of neutrality did not join the United Nations?
Switzerland.
Yes, Sam.
Switzerland.
That's correct. With a population of under 8,000, what New England city is the smallest state capital in the United States? Joey.
Montpelier.
Correct. Reverence for family, elders, and ancestors forms the basis of what ancient Chinese philosophy? Hallie.
Confucianism.
Correct. Redwoods, the largest and tallest trees in the world, belong to what genus named for a Cherokee scholar? Sequoia. Name the second title in Veronica Roth's Divergent trilogy. Lexi.
Insurgent.
Correct. Camp David is named after the grandson of what 34th U.S. president? Andy.
Grover Cleveland.
Dwight D. Eisenhower is the answer. What terrifying mythical creature of ancient Crete had the body of a man and the head of a bull? Andy.
Minotaur.
Correct. The St. Lawrence River connects the Great Lakes to what ocean? Joey.
Atlantic.
Correct. Jellyfish stings can be effectively treated with what acid found in vinegar? Audrey.
Acetic?
That's correct. What is the world's second highest? That is the buzzer. And our winning team is Oxford Hills with 345 points. They'll be moving on to the quarterfinals. York with 310. Great game. Congratulations to both teams. And be sure to tune in next time as Hampden Academy takes on Winthrop. Thanks so much for watching, everyone.
Production support for High School Quiz Show Maine is provided by the Helen and George Ladd Charitable Corporation, the Lincoln and Therese Filene Foundation, Platts Associates, Bernstein Schur, and by
Take a moment and change your life. Join a Maine credit union. At a credit union, you're an owner, and a credit union gives back to its owners. Contact your local Maine credit union. It's your moment. Own it.
Energy is about more than just keeping the lights on. It's about living life. As parents, friends, and teammates, Unitil is proud to support High School Quiz Show Maine. Unitil, more than a utility, part of your community. With Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare, you get more than a health plan. You get a partner. With benefits built around local needs, they're helping communities across Maine get healthier and happier. Visit harvardpilgrim.org to learn more. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Wow.